What is the difference between collateral damage and indiscriminate attacks in IHL? Imagine you're watching a movie where a hero tries to hit a villain but accidentally knocks over a vase full of flowers. That accidental harm is similar to collateral damage in war. Now, picture a scene where the hero fires blindly into a crowd, hitting anyone and everyone without aiming at a specific target. That's more like an indiscriminate attack. These scenes help us understand the difference between two serious issues in international humanitarian law. Collateral damage happens when a military attack hits a target but unintentionally harms civilians or their property. It's like when soldiers aim at a military building, but some nearby homes get damaged. The law says this is okay only if the harm is not excessive compared to the military advantage gained. This is called the principle of proportionality. Soldiers must do everything possible to avoid hurting civilians and must carefully choose their targets. They need to plan attacks so that civilian harm is minimized and not out of proportion to the military goal. Indiscriminate attacks are very different. These are attacks that do not or cannot distinguish between military targets and civilians. For example, firing artillery without knowing what's behind the target or using weapons that explode over a wide area. These attacks are forbidden because they cause harm to civilians without regard for who or what is in the way. They often involve weapons like cluster munitions or tactics like bombing entire neighborhoods without verifying what's there. The key difference is intent and discrimination. Collateral damage is unintended harm that can happen even when soldiers try to avoid it. It's considered lawful if it meets the rules of proportionality and precautions. Indiscriminate attacks, on the other hand, are unlawful because they ignore the rules and deliberately or recklessly harm civilians. International humanitarian law, including the Geneva Conventions, emphasizes protecting civilians by requiring combatants to tell the difference between soldiers and civilians. They must avoid attacks that cause excessive civilian suffering. Commanders need to verify targets, choose appropriate weapons, and plan attacks carefully. If they fail to do so, they risk breaking the law and committing war crimes. In simple terms, collateral damage can happen even with good intentions if precautions are taken, but indiscriminate attacks happen when there is no effort to tell apart civilians from military targets. Protecting civilians during war depends on understanding and respecting these differences.